Hey everybody, Karen from Essa Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So this will be kind of an interesting conversation. We are going to be asking the lead team your questions regarding CERN, C-E-R-N, which, I would have to say like 2 months ago, I had never even heard of this. So it's been kind of floating around because CERN recently closed down. And so then people have been talking about it. And there is something about this place in Switzerland that's really bizarre. And so there's a lot of questions that you guys had. Now, you have so many questions that I did break it down. I think we have 2 parts to this. So what we're going to do from now on when we do parts is we're going to play them like 2 or 3 days apart. Because I think it'll let you soak in kind of one, and then maybe a couple days later come back to the topic. So if you didn't get your questions answered in this part 1, which today we are talking about possible effects on timelines from CERN, the Mandela effects, portals, dimensions, time, and our experience of reality. In part 2, we're going to cover your questions about CERN itself, its shutdown, symbolism, secrecy, scientists, technology, and whether its work could benefit humanity. Now, the one thing that I found really bizarre is I was listening to somebody, and someone had said that one of the things she couldn't get out of her mind was the opening ceremony that CERN had for when they opened it, which I think was like 13 years ago or something like that. I don't remember the date on it, but it is on YouTube, and it is a little weird. It's weird in the sense that it does look pretty satanic. It really does. Now, she put that into my brain, so maybe I was looking at it through that lens, but even if I wasn't, it's in the video, you can actually watch a video that explains what's happening. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's of the light. I really wouldn't. So why? What is up with that? So if you have additional questions after part 1 and 2 that you are still wondering about, just put them in the comments, and we'll pull them at some point and do a part 3. Okay? All right. Let's get started. Okay, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. Hello. Thank you so much for being here, as always, and partnering with us. So we've got some questions for you regarding CERN in Switzerland. Do you know what we're referring to? I have a feeling you do. Yes? Okay. Well, this is going to be a mystery to me. So I'm looking forward to this. So is there anything about this that is not in our highest and best? No. Okay. So this is a topic that is okay for keeping us in high vibration state. Good for us to know about. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Very good. But entertainment purposes only, and allegedly, and use your own discernment, obviously. Okay. If having this conversation lowers your vibration at all, click off. You don't want, it's not worth it. I don't even know if it will. I mean, I have no idea. So we'll just see. Okay. Okay. So lead team, question number 1. Did the experiments at CERN affect how we experience time here on Earth? What? Okay. It just that. Okay. Yes. I think what I need to do for the sake of all of ourselves, including myself, all of us, I'm going to Google what CERN is, and I'm going to read it to you real quick so we can have this, like, what is this thing? Okay. So we're just going to trust what Google has to say for the time being. So CERN is a European organization for nuclear research. Operates the world's largest, most powerful particle accelerators. Accelerators to study the fundamental constitutes of matter and the laws of physics. And there's a huge, like in the mountain, let me look that up real quick. Okay, so on the France-Switzerland border, there is a laboratory near Geneva. It is a famous subterranean large colander. Okay, it's 17 miles underground ring used to smash particles together at near light speed to understand the fundamental laws of nature. It's been shut down to undergo a major 4-year upgrade and maintenance period. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's a colander, so a 17-mile down colander that they're supposedly, running whatever they're doing in there with physics. Okay. I'm like the last person to ask about that kind of stuff. All right, so now that we have a little bit of background, I think that's maybe a little helpful. All right, let's ask again. Did the experiments at CERN affect how we experienced time here on Earth? Yes. Okay. All right. If so, were the effects of significant consequence? Yes. Were they positive consequence for us? Okay, yes. What about were there any negative consequences? Okay, yes. Well, for the time, that's what we're talking about, how it affected time. So what percentage was positive? Was it 75% positive, the effect on time? Yes. Okay. So it's a higher vibration situation with time that we're dealing with CERN. Yes. Okay. I didn't expect that. Okay. Did CERN speed up time? Yes. Did they do that on purpose? Was that? Yes. Is this area on the border of France and Switzerland, the colander that's 17 miles long, was this designed to help humanity move into the 5D? Yes. Really? Interesting. Okay, so what was up with this? The whole, okay, is it true that the opening ceremony of CERN with those dancers, and it looked very devilish, like, yes. Was that authentic? When those are shown on YouTube, those videos of CERN opening ceremony, is that an authentic opening ceremony? Yes. For this thing we're talking about today? Yes. Well, was the intention to be satanic? No. Okay, so their intention was not to be satanic. No. Okay. Are you just saying that so you don't want us? No. Okay. I don't know how to complete that sentence, but they don't lie to us, but I don't know. You guys watch it and tell me what you think. Well, from a human perspective, to me, it looked like it, but somebody also planted that seed in my head. Plus, the one I watched had these little words underneath to say what was going on. And so that might have been their interpretation, is what you're saying, lead team? Yes. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's always good to know that kind of thing. Like, and it may be, but it's always good to second guess stuff like that. Okay, does CERN create multiple false timelines? No. And the lead team has said there's only one timeline. Yes. Okay. But there's one timeline, but so we're always experiencing past, present, and future at the same time. So take it as it is. You'll have to figure that out. That's a whole nother conversation. But there's off the timeline, there's these, you can go all these different ways, but there's only one timeline. So it might be a little bit of semantics as we talk, when you hear different people talk about timelines. So let me ask that again. Has CERN created multiple false timelines? No, they're saying no. So let me know, you guys, if you've heard other people talk about this. Because I'm totally in the dark on this, so there's no way they're reading my vibration, which they don't anyways, but they're not reading my energy on this topic because I don't know anything about it. Okay, are the experiments held at CERN responsible for a timeline shift, creating the Mandela Effect? Oh, yes. We should do a whole video on the Mandela Effect because that would be helpful for me. So you guys want to do that? Let me make a note of that real quick. So you're welcome to put questions about the Mandela Effect here, but I'll do a post on the channel, and it's better to put them when we do call outs because then we can capture everything at one place. All right, is the collapsing of timeline story true? And I don't have no idea what this, so no. So I don't know what the story is about collapsing timelines. Okay, so they're saying no. Well, are there multiple, are any stories of collapsing timelines true? Because I don't know if there's multiple stories about it. No. They're saying no, so I don't know. Was CERN's current temporary shutdown due to it being used to interfere with our natural progression of timelines? No. Okay. Was CERN's use creating portals that caused interference? Is CERN trying to create portals that cause... Okay, they started saying yes, and then they switched to no because I switched the question. So is CERN creating portals at all? Is CERN creating like new portals? No. Is CERN using portal energy? Yes. So CERN is using portal energy. Is this causing interference in the way humanity perceives the world or how time is interpreted? Is this causing a negative? Well, they already said 75% positive, but we were talking about time only. Okay, so yes. So yes. Okay, is anything CERN doing hurting humanity more than 25%, no matter what they're doing? No. Is it hurting humanity less than 10% of what they're doing? Let me rephrase that. So yes. So less than 10% of what CERN is doing is harmful for humanity? Yes. So 90%, at least 90% of what CERN is doing is helpful for humanity? Yeah. I don't know. You guys might call BS on this. I have no idea because it's so interesting to do a topic that I really don't know anything about what people are saying. So you'll have to, fill me in on that. And then, again, just use your discernment about what you're hearing here, what you're hearing here. See if it feels right to you is where you want, if this feels better to you and right to you, then that's what you want to, at least put your energy there. If you're hearing other messages that don't feel right to you and don't, like that opening ceremony to me I didn't like that at all. I was like, yeah, I don't want to focus on that, but I kind of want to understand it a little bit because I saw it with my own eyes. So, I don't know. All right. Let's see. Do any beings other than humans, I'm assuming beings, enter our world through portals at CERN? Oh, yes. Well, I mean, would they be entering through there as a portal if they didn't create this colander? Would they still be entering through that sort of that energy area? Yes. Okay. So is CERN, I mean, there's obviously a reason they built that where they did. Yes. And it had to do with like energy portals, gateways, something like that between us and other dimensions. Yes. Okay. So is this a time traveling thing? Are they able to do time traveling through here? Oh, yes. Oh, interesting. Okay. But you're saying that this is ultimately going to help us with the 5D. Yes. Okay. Is it safe to say that there are some players around around CERN, that do not have humanity's highest interest in mind? Yes. Okay. All right. So there are some players involved that don't have humanity's best interest. Yes. Okay. So I think that might be a little consistent to what I kind of hear, but is the majority of those involved, do the majority of those involved have humanity's best interest in mind? Yes. And does the timeline at least currently show that those who have the best, humanity's best interest, it will ultimately play out in that favor? Yes. Okay. Was CERN, we did that. Was CERN using created portals? Okay. Did CERN open a door to another dimension? Yes. Was this door already open in this area? Yes. Did they just make it easier for humans to connect with this energy in this other dimension? Yes. Will CERN be able to close that door? Yes. Well, do we want them to close that door? Yes. Okay. I didn't expect that. So far they've been quite positive, so why would they want to, why if it's helping with the 5 dimension, well, has it done the work, has that colander or whatever, has it done the work it needs to do? Is that basically? Yes. And do they feel like they need to keep it closed right now because of the nefariousness around it? Oh, okay. Yes. So for the people who they don't trust right now, okay. Interesting. So is it really being refurbished? Yes. All right. So it's being refurbished, but was that the only reason for closing it right now? Was to refurbish it? Oh, okay. Yes. Will it really take 4 years to refurbish this thing? Yes. Are they going to be using it for any nefarious reasons in the meantime? No. Are they using it? Are they going to be able to use it at all in the meantime to help humanity move to the 5D? Yes. So even though it's closed, they can still do that work? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Will CERN be able to close that door? We talked about that. So they said yes, they will be able to. I guess we want it to close. Wow. Okay. Is it good for humanity if that door remains open? Oh, well, that's just weird. Okay, no. So somehow I'm not connecting. So you guys are going to have to do some interpretation here. Sorry, I'm just not the expert. Sometimes I just can't. I'm like, I'm not seeing between what they're telling me about the purpose of it, but that it is not good for humanity if the door remains open. So it's been good for humanity up to this point, but it's not good for humanity if it remains open, is what I'm hearing. Is that correct, lead team? Okay, so you guys are going to have to help me understand why, which with your additional questions. All right, this is a community effort, it always is. Since I'm learning right along with you. So, did CERN open portals around the world that allow low vibration entities and beings to enter our world? Oh, got it. Yes. Was that done on purpose? No. Okay. So it was done unintentionally. It just it was a result of them exploring. Yes. Okay. Messing around with those portals without knowing what they were doing, huh? Yes. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So is this any different than what I do in closing gateways, or I call them portals, but people are like, those aren't portals. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's semantics. It's an energy, that goes between here and another dimension. Basically, you have them in your house. They can open and you can close them. Is there any difference with me closing gateways or portals in my house, incoming? You don't want to close the outgoing so that your soul always can leave. But is there any difference with me doing that and what they're doing at CERN? No. Okay. So this is they just created, this is a specific area on Earth that has an energy that's different than like the energy might be where I'm sitting. And is it a similar energy to what we find in Sedona? Yes. Okay. So similar energy as Sedona, Arizona, which we've asked about in the past under the disclosure videos that we did. But, and so they just are activating this energy a little differently than we would that we're doing in Sedona? No? Okay. So activating the energy is not the right term. So the way they opened this, yeah, so they need to keep it closed so that it's closed to incoming. Yes. Okay. All right. So it's now that it helps me understand, because I have videos on closing portals that you can do in your own home. So you might want to go watch those if you want to see me actually do one. I did one in my sister's house. So anyways. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty similar to that. So that's interesting, which kind of makes sense to me now. It's just that colander creates an image that we can actually see versus like I can't see it here. They're usually in the corner of a house. And I can tell sometimes if the energy is really weird. I'll be like, I just check. I'm like, do we have a portal open or and they do get open somehow. I don't know if it's our vibration shifts it and then it allows them to easier time to access, or I've never asked that question. I'm not quite sure. And we could do a whole video on portals. I'll write that down. I'm not sure I have done one on portals. Even if we did, it would still be new and interesting with your questions. Okay. Are they punching holes in our universe for bad things to come through? Is that what they're doing? Punching holes? No. All right, well, that's good. No punching holes. All right, we're on question 15. We have 22 total. Will CERN's portals be opened in secret to negatively influence vibration? I'm going to have to break this down. Negatively influence vibration and prevent ascension or awakening? No. So will CERN's portals be opened in secret to negatively influence vibration? No. So really, it sounds to me that the point of CERN being open was to positively influence our vibration, to actually encourage ascension. Yes. So we're getting a lot of opposite stories. So which one are you going to believe? Which one feels better to you? Which one do you want to focus on? You going to create the reality of the negative, or do you want to create the reality of the positive? Which may be why, again, lead team tells us certain things, because that's where they want our focus. I don't know. I'm just saying. So, because the whole point is you get what you focus on, you get what you put out there. So if you're spending a lot of time being concerned about CERN, or everybody's focused on the negative parts of it, then what do we get? It's the same thing about all the energy that's directed at different political parties, right? And so much negativity. The political parties probably get way more negativity, doesn't matter which party, shot at them than they do positive. That doesn't help them, does it? Doesn't help them at all. So, and even if they get a little bit of positives, prayers, whatever, the amount of disgruntledness that they get, it's probably the same thing. I talked about this, of what happened to our soccer team, the U.S. soccer team. There was so much negative energy sent their way once Trump tried to, change the rule with the president of FIFA. That so much negative energy that there's just that team. That's just how I'm seeing it. That team had no chance. The U.S. just had no chance. It would have been better if they just left it alone. There's just so much. I mean, they just couldn't get it together. There's way too much negative energy coming towards them. It's really as simple as that. I kind of keep telling my husband, so he likes the Vikings football team. That he grew up in Minnesota. Vikings is his thing, okay? But he's always bitching about, he doesn't bitch about any other team, but he's always bitching about the Vikings, because they're never perfect enough, and I'm like, they're never going to win because you are always complaining about them. It's like he won't even watch them. I'm like, why are they even your team then? He's so obsessed with that. Like, if they're not perfect, it's so weird. But then he can watch any other team and it's fine, But it's like he's so, his identity is like wrapped up in this team, And I know that happens to a lot of people with sports. My family, Blob, Jared, the Bears, the Cubs, right? You know what I'm talking about. How much bitching goes on in the household when the Bears are playing. You guys are not helping them. You're not helping the Bears. I know they're listening. Marcia, make sure Oli sees this, okay? This part. Make sure you play it at like 26 minutes, Oli. All right. I like talking to people through my videos to prove a point. Okay. All right. Couple more questions. Okay. So will CERNs, okay. So we talked about them opening the portals to negatively influence our vibration. And then the follow-up question was, if so, will those attempts have any impact? But they already said they're not going to be doing it that way. So no. Did the 2012 event, which I don't know what that was, destroy a version of Earth? Oh, yes. Now the word destroy is pretty negative. Did the 2012 event, I have no idea what that is, the 2012 event. So if anybody knows what that is, could you please put it in the comments so that people can read about it? Did the 2012 event alter a version of Earth? Yes. Did the 2012 event alter the version of Earth in a way that was in favor of where humanity wants to go? Yes, really wide swing. So it had to do something with moving us in the 5D. Yes. So rather than dissing CERN, we should be appreciative of CERN? Is that yes? Okay. Okay. I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of arguments. No arguing. We're just offering different perspectives. That's all we're doing. We don't need to be mean in the comments, just offer different perspectives. All right. So if 2012, okay, was finding the God particle in 2012, is that what we're talking about, important to the global shift that year? Yes. Oh, okay, well, now we should do a whole thing on the God particle because no idea what that is. Have 17 dimensions been encountered? Oh, I've been hearing people talk about different dimensions, which is how I'm understanding the world a little different now. Yes. Okay. Are there 17 dimensions? Yes. Are there more than 17 dimensions? No. We could do a whole, make a note. We'll do a whole thing on dimensions too, because yeah, now that my understanding is a little different, that might be interesting. Have the experiments at CERN altered anything beyond Earth, such as planetary movement or galaxy expansion? No. Is that because we live in dimensions? Yes, versus planetary stuff outside of Earth. Yes, and I'll leave that for the dimension comment or session that we do on dimensions, because if you look at our existence, source and everything based on dimensions, you may not see space the same way. I don't know. We have to still exploring that in my head, but you may not. Okay, so that's maybe why they're saying it that way, the planetary movements or galaxy expansion. Okay, so the follow-up was, if so, has it affected only the Milky Way or beyond our galaxy? So has CERN affected anything, has affected the Milky Way? No. Has it affected anything beyond our galaxy? No. Will we notice any changes while CERN is shut down, such as changes in the Schuman resonance? No. The Aura, I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's Borealis. Yes, we will see changes in that. Oh, yes. And our ability to connect with source? No. Okay, so we won't see, it won't have any negative effects on our ability to connect with source. That's really the most important. No. Okay. Wow. Okay, this one made my brain hurt a little bit. Just I don't know much about it. All right, so much to learn. And remember, we have a part 2. I'm going to do it and put it out in like 3 days or so. And part 2 will be about CERN itself, a little bit more about CERN itself, a little bit more about the shutdown, symbolism around CERN, secrecy, scientists, technology, and whether its work could benefit humanity, which we've already determined that, but I'm assuming you guys have additional questions that might help us get to different layers of this in part 2. All right, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.